Hi, I'm Mr. Burke and welcome to my construction technology class. Today I want to demonstrate the use of this tool called a domino cutter. A domino cutter or domino joiner is a machine that creates a slot, an elongated slot for a domino to fit into like that. This is essentially a loose tenon and it's used to reinforce joinery as we're building projects. And so the way we're going to do this, you're going to use a series of 2 jigs on this phone stand holster, and that may not be the project that we're doing in the future when we show this video later, but that's the project we're doing right now, and so that's what we're going to use. And we're going to use a series of 2 jigs, this one right here for the base plates and this one right here for the arm. And so we want to always wear safety glasses. We want to always make sure you have permission. You want to maintain a 3-inch margin of safety. That's 3 inches away from the cutter with your fingers. The cutter is going to be, let me unplug it here. The cutter is going to be inside right here. And it comes out, it looks kind of like a drill bit or a router bit. And so it's going to be up inside there. And this machine does a plunge style cut. Well, it also oscillates back and forth to make that elongated slot. And so as with drilling and with routing, we need to make sure that we secure long hair, that we take off rings, jewelry, watches, push back long sleeves, and anything else that we need to do to stay safe while we're using the machine. And we're going to also, with this case, we're going to make sure that we are using dust extraction, because this tool does produce lots of dust, and so I've got a vacuum hooked up here. We want to always make sure we're doing that. We're going to examine the machine, make sure that the power cord, everything is free of damage, that we visually inspect the setup to make sure that it's exactly the way that the teacher demonstrates and that it appears to be in good working order. I want you to check with your teacher if there's something that you do not understand. Anytime we make adjustments, check the bit or anything like that, we want to make sure that we unplug the power source so that there's no chance it's going to accidentally come to life. And I want you always to remember that you never, ever make adjustments that I have not taught you to make on this machine. We're going to examine our workpiece for anything sharp or protruding or anything sticking up, because we want this to go absolutely flat down inside our jig here. And we're going to push it all the way up against the surface of the domino joiner. We want the domino joiner absolutely flat down inside the jig, and we're going to lock it in place like that. And then we're going to make sure that we secure our workpiece right here. This jig goes on top of a non-skid pad, or we clamp it to the table. Whatever jig you're using, or if you're just using the machine itself, you want to make sure that you secure your workpiece in some way. We want to make sure that we're using a safe working posture. I'm sitting down, you guys might be standing up like this, but I'm going to have you put one hand here, and I'm going to have you put one hand here. And then the thumb here can operate the button. Now the button is a little funny, and it's going to slide forward and press in, and so that way to turn it off, you just simply bump it. And so that's how the button works. We're going to make sure that we have fingers, hair, clothing, etc. clear of the bit, and we're going to make sure that we reach full speed before we start cutting, and we're going to start our plunge, and then when the cut is complete, we're going to let it shut down all the way before we attempt to remove anything. So it looks like this. I'm going to turn my vacuum on. I'm going to stand to use it. I'm going to use my thumb to pull this button right this direction. Now it's on. To turn it off, I'll just simply bump it. And I'm going to press down right here, and I'm going to push in right here. Now I'm going to retract it. I'm going to turn it off. Turn off my vacuum. And then I'm going to remove my workpiece. Your workpiece now has a slot in it like that, and we're going to repeat the process in the other end. Make sure that it's nice and flat down in there. Again, pressing down here, prepared to plunge right here. Turn it on with the thumb. Do a plunge cut. Retract it, turn it off, and then we can take a look at our workpiece. And that looks pretty good. That's ready to receive a domino. Just like that. Now I'll show you the other jig so that you know how it works too. On this jig, we're going to put whichever face is going to be the back or the bottom facing up in the jig. And so I like this face better, so it's going to go down. I'm going to flip this over. This one, is a little bit different in that it's got to attach with screws. And so this one, I'm going to attach it. We're probably going to do everybody on that other setup first and then do everybody on this setup. So I'm going to set my domino cutter. Let's see here. Size makes a difference with where we have it adjusted. And that's where we had it. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now then, this has to mesh down in there all the way, and we're going to secure it. This will already be done for you guys when you come up to the machine, but it's going to be secured like this. And any time that I give you some kind of accessory or anything to use with a machine, I expect you to use it. Okay. All right, and so that is our setup right here. And with it set up right here, we're going to turn it on, we're going to plunge, release it, and turn it off. And there we have it. We'll do this for the second piece as well. And there's our hole there. And so it's going to go together just like that. And when we put glue and pressure on that, that's going to create a very strong joint. So that is the use of the domino cutter, and thank you for watching.